Hello friends, good morning and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Gina. I'm a relatively new gardener here, and I garden in Zone 4, Wisconsin. This is my first year having an in-ground space, and it's been really exciting. I've learned a lot so far. I also have a couple of raised garden beds over at my house, but it is officially July, so I wanted to give you all the July garden tour. We did get quite a bit of rain this morning. It was thunderstorming a little bit, so I'm out here a little bit later. I can feel the temperature rising as I just stand here. It's gonna get really hot again later today, but that's all right. The corn and beans should absolutely love that. So without further ado, let's get into the tour. We are again starting in my in-ground garden, which is like my three sisters patch. I have corn, beans, squash, and some random stuff that I couldn't find room for in my raised beds. So let's begin. In the first half of these rows, here, and a few little couple over there, I have popcorn and some drying beans. I planted kidney beans and great northern beans. I cannot remember which is which. So we will just have to see when they ripen and dry. So my popcorn is doing pretty good. I think one of the big things is that I underestimated how much sun this space gets. It's not a lot. I thought it was a lot more when I first started like tilling and digging this place up, but that's all right. Our popcorn is looking so much bigger than probably our last tour. You can see these ones are looking really nice. Even just like the last couple days when I was here this weekend, they did not look this big. Some of them are getting a little shaded out, like this little guy down here, but that is all right. Our beans are looking really good as well. Now that these are growing a little bit, I think these are bush beans, not pole beans, which is not what I intended for, but I think it'll be just fine. Here is our little eggplant. He is not doing much. I just don't think he's getting enough warmth and sun compared to my other one. The garden looks relatively good right now. My husband and I were just here this past weekend and weeded some more mulching. His weeded areas like this look much better than my weeded areas. Over here, he was much more meticulous than I was. Here is some more popcorn and I think these ones are the white beans, the great northern beans over here. And like I said before, I did not have super great germination on my popcorn. Like, it's really sparse and patchy. There's only one over here. I'll just have to figure out a better plan for next year if I do this again. In this area, my third sister, I guess you would say, I have some squash. So I have 2 butternut squashes and an acorn, and my goal with these is to just let them vine out and kind of go wherever they want. I'll train them to go each in one direction, but they'll just kind of do their thing. They'll act as a ground cover and help hopefully choke out some of these weeds as they get bigger and keep growing. But we have lots of little tendrils, some little flowers in here. Nothing is like blooming or popping out yet, but I'm really excited. I think they look like they're doing really well. And I'm not seeing hardly any pest damage, which is really a good sign. And down here we have my sweet corn, which this is doing a lot better than the popcorn, I would say. It's been a little bit windy and stormy, so they're kind of blown over a little bit, but I think they'll pop right back up. And as you can see, I had much better germination with my sweet corn. When I planted my popcorn, I didn't have a sprinkler or any sort of like irrigation setup or anything. So I planted it, it was supposed to rain, it didn't rain, and obviously not a lot of them germinated. When I planted my sweet corn, I made sure that I had my sprinkler ready because I really wanted some sweet corn. I wanted things to grow well, and they are doing much better. Here's a tree that fell. There, good enough. We also have a couple new additions from our last garden tour. I have 2 broccolis and a purple cauliflower that I had started just because my first ones had died that I was going to plant in my raised beds. Now I don't have any room in my raised beds, so they just went down here. I also have some nasturtiums at the end. These are looking really good and cute. And I just absolutely love the color of this purple cauliflower. It's just so pretty. And then down here we have my onions, which are actually doing much better than I thought they would. If you guys saw when I planted these, they were teeny tiny little things. They had like hardly any growth, and they are doing really well. So I have some here, a couple there, a few died, but that is a-okay. All right, you guys, that is all I have for my in-ground garden space. Let's head over to the raised beds and check those out. Before we make our way out to the garden beds, I wanted to show you my kind of like little herb garden, patio garden. I have all sorts of herbs that I've been drying and saving. I have some dill that is just starting to get some growth on it. I have both peppermint and spearmint that I have been harvesting and drying for tea. Lemon balm that I'm hoping to harvest for tea. I have 2 little rosemary plants, and I'm so proud of these little rosemaries because they took forever to germinate, and also so many of them did not germinate, but I'm so happy to see that growth. An extra marigold. And my chamomile, which is looking really sad. I was hoping to be able to harvest chamomile flowers for tea, but I don't really know what to do about it. He looks very sad. Looks like maybe some buds right here, but we'll see what happens. I have a little cherry tomato that I started very late in the season, but he seems to be doing just fine. And the last thing, this was actually my birthday present from my mom that I just picked out. It is a variegated pink lemon tree. That is hopefully what my fruit will look like, but it's very pretty. It will come inside because it obviously can't overwinter in zone 4. I have some balcony boxes, more herbs. This is oregano and thyme. I have one just filled with these little alyssums. They are so cute. I have a little tiered planter filled with all sorts of random flowers, lettuce, flowers, more flowers. I started these pansies from seed. You guys probably hopefully watched that earlier. These are some zinnias, seeds I got from a coworker and a friend. This is sorrel. I got a lot of these seeds from Dollar Seed Club, as in their like herb garden ones. So that's where the sorrel came from. You wanna come out? That's where the sorrel came from. From my understanding, it's a perennial, and it's finally starting to grow a little bit. I've plucked off a few little leaves. They kind of taste like a little sour almost. They're really good. And then a random bean. I can't remember if I planted this or if it fell in there. I'm not sure. And a whole thing of lettuce mix. All right, welcome to my garden beds. I have 4 raised beds and 3 grow bags that I'm currently growing in. I have one bed that's primarily tomatoes, one that's peppers, and then just a bunch of random stuff mixed in. Let's start on the tomato bed. I have, just looking at it, you can see it's kind of just huge in a jungle. It's so crazy big compared to the last garden tour. It's absolutely insane how fast stuff grows this time of year. I have a ginormous marigold. I don't know, I think it's called Cracker Jack. I did not realize that they got this big. It is absolutely humongo. Down here, I just recently sowed a second round of carrots. You can see maybe here's a couple little baby carrots coming up, which is very exciting. Had some good germination. A little baby nasturtium here. And then for tomatoes, I have a plum regal and a Roma. So these I'm kind of comparing to see which is the better determinant paste tomato, the determinant plum regal or the determinant Roma. Back here, I have another Roma hidden back there, and this one is actually an indeterminate San Marzano. Originally, I had wanted to do 2 Romas and 2 plum regals so I could compare and see how much produced fruit versus the other, if anything was more disease resistant than the other. Unfortunately, one of my plum regals was eaten by a cutworm, I think, because it just like snipped it right off. So I had to replace it with a San Marzano, which is an indeterminate paste tomato, which is fine. It just will grow a little bit differently. I also have a couple indeterminate slicers. So I have 2 beefsteak tomatoes and 2 pink brandywines. And hopefully you can see, but I have a little baby beefsteak growing. And then also way in here, I have little Romas, if you can see those hopefully. But we have lots of flowers. I think this is the earliest I've had little green tomatoes, which is very exciting. Along my beds here, I have some onions. These ones are not doing as great just because they are not getting as much sunlight. They're kind of blocked by the tomatoes, which is fine. The smell in and of themselves is enough to do some pest prevention. And then I also have carrots down in beneath my tomatoes. I was really trying to do a lot more companion planting, interplanting this year, and I heard that because tomatoes have because carrots have such a long taproot, they are really good next to tomatoes to loosen that dirt so the tomato roots can grow really nice and deep. On the end of this bed, I have a beautiful trellis. As you can see, that is completely being filled out with cucumbers. I did not grow cucumbers last year because 2 years ago, I had grown enough cucumbers to last forever. I still have some of those pickles left from 2 years ago. So I think cucumbers might be an every other type of crop, but we'll see. I have 2 Boston pickling cucumbers and then 1 quick snack cucumber, which produces these tiny little cucumbers that I can pickle whole, and I think they're gonna be so good. There are so many flowers on these cucumbers. I am going to have them coming out of my ears pretty soon, which is very exciting. Last thing on this bed is my pole beans growing up my cattle panel trellis here. Like I said, these are pole beans. I'm not sure the variety of them. I just know they climb. Look, some of them are already up to here, which is so exciting. They do take a little bit longer to produce their blooms and their fruits compared to bush beans. So I think pole beans and bush beans are kind of like determinate and indeterminate tomatoes. So pole beans will just keep growing and just like casually produce all of their beans, whereas bush beans will grow and just produce all of their beans at one time. So a little bit of pros and cons, but because I have very limited space here, pole beans work the best for me because I can grow them up a trellis. Last year, I struggled a lot with Japanese beetles completely destroying my beans. I haven't seen any yet. I've been out here checking them every day, but last year they didn't show up until they were like pretty tall up anyways. So I'm just keeping my eye out for those, and then hopefully I can just pick them off and get them before they get too bad. I'm trying to stay in the shade because it is getting really hot out. Go to this little bed here. This is the newest addition to my raised garden bed this year. This one is kind of the bed where I just threw all of my random leftover things. So I had originally had it planted with 4 broccoli plants. Of those, 1 survived. I think they were just too little when I put them out. But he seems to be doing pretty well. There's not too much damage on here yet. Ooh, go away, you little white moth. I've been out here checking, making sure there's no eggs or anything in the back of these guys, looking for bugs. But I think he's definitely a little bit behind because he was so small. There's not really a head forming or anything yet, but hopefully we get one. And then this monster next to him is my patty pan squash. So the patty pan is a type of summer squash. It's similar to a zucchini or like a yellow summer squash, but they produce these round kind of scalloped edge squashes, and they're really super cute. That's one of the main reasons I picked it, just because they're really cute. I've also heard that they are supposed to be more resistant to pests compared to a zucchini, like the squash vine borer or anything like that. I personally have never struggled with that, knocking on wood, but I just thought they'd be fun. Give them a try. They do seem to be producing a little bit slower. I planted a zucchini plant over at Hunter's grandma's gardens, and they already have little zucchinis on those, but these ones don't have any yet, and I don't have any flowers opened up or anything yet either. And then my plan was for this to just kind of topple over the side, but he appears to be wanting to grow up, so I put a cage around him. Look at that. Terrible. Now this bed is also kind of just a mess and full, but it is beautiful and I love it. Main crop here, like I said, is the peppers, although they're kind of hard to see right now. I have this nasturtium. Look at it's blooming. It's absolutely beautiful. Here's another one. This just started blooming yesterday. These are all still just buds. Look at that. Anyways, I have peppers here. So these first 3 are sweet peppers. They are California Wonder and King of the North bell peppers. Again, doing a little experiment to see if I can grow bigger bell peppers, because normally I just get these kind of little green bell peppers because our season isn't that long. But those are because I've been growing California Wonder peppers. So I'm hoping growing King of the North bell peppers, I get a little bit of a bigger, more substantial bell pepper. I also have in here, this is new from our last tour, I pulled out all of the radishes and ate and pickled those, and I replaced it with these purple burgundy bush beans, which are absolutely beautiful. I love the color purple, so anything purple that can grow, I will be doing that. Like, these are looking really good. They should be, I see some little buds and flowers, so hopefully this should be flowering soon, and then we'll get some bush beans. Another basil, I have them planted everywhere. This monster pepper here is a cayenne. It is so pretty. I'm so excited. I feel like we're gonna get so many. Look at all of these blooms. I've got a, what's this one? Jalapeno, another jalapeno, what are you? Banana, and a banana. We do have one little banana pepper growing. Hopefully this is a good pepper year. Down here, this is where I had 2 heads of lettuce. If you remember from the last tour, I did pick those. One was starting to bolt, the other one was still good, so I wanted to get them before they got too bitter. But if you have any ideas of what I should put in this little space, let me know. And here are the onions that are doing so much better. Like, look at the bulbs on these. These look so good. I think these just get a lot more sunlight than the other ones. They're doing a lot better. We've got dill in the corner here, some dill over here, a giant parsley plant. Look at how amazing that looks. On this side of the trellis, I have sugar snap peas. I think these are probably going to be coming to an end. They are getting a little bit tough just with the heat. They're still putting out lots of blooms, so I feel bad ripping them down, but they definitely slowed it down a little bit. And I've also got a marigold here, and then this one on the side here is a loofah, who is looking very sad up top, but we have lots of new growth down here, so we'll see if we can get some loofahs. One of my most exciting things is this grow bag right here. And that is my eggplant, and I have a little baby. Look at that. This one is looking so good. I think part of the reason why this eggplant is doing so much better than the eggplant at my in-ground garden is because, 1, it gets so much more sunlight, and 2, being in the black grow bag, it like attracts a lot more heat from the sun and like retains onto it a little bit better. And eggplants are definitely like a warm, hot, loving crop. So I think that's part of the reason why he's doing so good in this grow bag in basically full all-day sun. My other grow bags with this loofah, look how amazing this thing is doing. I have had several female blossoms. As you can see, the female blossoms have the fruit at the end, and then the blossom, here's one that is blooming right now. You can tell the female because it has the fruit and then the blossom. The male blossoms are all these little guys. They don't have any fruit. They just have the pollen that that need to pollinate the female blossoms in order to produce fruit. But none of my male blossoms are opening or blossoming. They're just, I'm not sure if it just needs to be warmer or if the plant just needs to be a little bit more mature for the male blossoms to open. But I'm hoping they do, because I would love to get some loofahs. I want to make Christmas gifts with them for everybody. My last grow bag is this little sugar baby watermelon, who is doing just fine, growing a little bit slow. I'm not sure how well melons grow in Wisconsin, but I thought I would give it a try. Looking good. And my strawberry and kale patch. I have a marigold in here. I just kind of plant them everywhere. My strawberries are doing so amazing. We have so many ripening strawberries. I think my decoys are working pretty well because I haven't lost any that I know of to the birds. Should probably do some more. Look at all of those strawberries. That's insane. And then I have my 2 kale plants that are doing really, really good. Kale grows great in Wisconsin. It doesn't ever get like too hot for it. It likes our cooler climate. We have been munching on this almost every single day. And it'll just keep growing and getting taller. Like I said, these are my decoy strawberries. They are just rocks that I painted and put some clear coat on to hopefully deter birds. So I put them out before the strawberries started to turn red and ripen, thinking that if anything was going to go after my strawberries, it would go after the little rocks and not like the rocks, and then hopefully deter them from going after my strawberries when those are ripe. Let's take a peek at my other berries I have going on. I've got 2 raspberries. I have one here and another here. It's interesting, when I got them, they had several canes growing, but now this one just has the one, and this one has just one that's split into 2. I don't think we'll get raspberries this year, probably not even next year, I don't think. It might need a while to establish. And then over here, I have some blackberry canes. I have 1, 2, 3 of them that I got from my friend and coworker. I just have them covered so the bunnies don't eat them. Again, these will take a few years to probably establish and before they will give us any fruit. All right, that is it for my beginning of July garden tour. I might do another one kind of like halfway through, just because everything does grow so fast this time of year, especially if it's such a short growing season, it kind of needs to. So maybe I will do another one. I also have some really fun video ideas coming up soon, so stay tuned for those. I'll see you next time. Bye.